It will be a Dragonite, so
right.
I think they might have some burst problems, honestly. And with a Shadow Demon in the game, it's going to be tough for them to get kills. So maybe NAR can exploit that, but it might be a moot point.
Do you think this is worth? I might think of a far-fetched kind of a scenario that these team fights could break out. Now, it's pretty obvious that potentially MSS on his Beastmaster could save out the Primal Roar for the Enigma Black Hole if it does come, regardless of BKB or not. But that could also be easily baited from the Rubik. Rubik waits out for that roll. That roar. Is it worth even throwing out the casual black hole just so they can get the opportunity to take the Primal Roar back and then use it back against them, or am I going way too deep with this?
No, I think that you have to use the whole, like, to full potential. Because the full potential hole means a lot more than if the Rubik can get the roar or not. Because if you think about the way the fight's going to look as well, the Rubik wants to stay as far apart from the fight as possible and just kind of like pick and choose what kind of spells he's going to get. And if he's going to get in close, wait behind the Enigma, try to get the roar, he's probably going to get stunned by something or disabled by something. And you want to stay as far apart from these lanes as possible. Like, you want to be at the very edge of a fight, kind of waiting to come in and out, cast a spell, get out, wait for good ulti opportunities.
All right, fair enough. And with that, we're going to have Game 2 underway. We'll say goodbye to Purge and Hani for now, and we'll see them back at the end of the game for their analysis on what the hell actually happened. But here we go. This is a big matchup now. It's match point for Complexity. They win this game, they are guaranteed a trip to Seattle for TI5. Or for NAR, they go to a best of 3. So we'll see. As we do begin here, they head towards the top. Once again, similar to what we saw in the last game here, Blitz putting a little bit more attention to the jungle because after all, instead of a Sand King, now they have that Enigma. So this time they might actually look to go a bit deeper. But we already see Complexity in that position to kind of be prepared.
Yeah, I think for NAR, the strategy here this game is to try to get as aggressive as possible early, and I think that's reflected in Korok's hero choice. I actually scrimmed against NAR V a few times when they first formed, and they did this a lot. They went for the Lina +1 dual lane, try to get aggressive, get Korok some farm, and then he just kind of rotates around the map and does his own thing, right? Like, that's the type of player that he is, and I think Ush especially works well around that. Like, he needs the space that Korok will create from him, or vice versa. Like, both of them are going to try to get farm. It just kind of depends on what type of heroes they're playing. Like for Ush, for example, if he plays the Shadow Fiend, then he's going to be a little bit more passive, and he's going to rely on Korok to be more aggressive for him this game.
It looks like Ush will be able to claim that top bounty. The bottom will go to COL. Fog going to be blocking out the lane right here, pretty much from the get-go. While on the side of Complexity, they're going to be intercepting it a bit late, but oh, he lets that one creep on through here. This is a very crucial start. Now we're expecting, I would imagine, Shadow Fiend to be more primary as far as the CS goes. He builds up that extra bit of base damage, and then level 4, level 5 rolls around. You got the raises to work with. You got the pleasure of being on Radiant side with the nearby camps to build up that farm further. But it is a DK. He's not going to be easy to take down. You know, he's got his Dragon's Blood. He's got the tankiness, but I would imagine his primary thing is he will be stuck to this mid lane, maybe hoping that Shadow Fiend deters elsewhere and tries to go for that tier 1. Would you agree?
Yeah, the problem though is that the SF clears the creep wave so fast, and the key to pushing any sort of tower is to clear the creep wave first, right? But if the SF just double raises, pulls it back, then the Dragon Knight doesn't really have too many options, and the lane, especially if you're on Radiant side, like you said, he's just going to go pull some camps, farm the lane out at the same time. Dragon Knight doesn't have the best way to pressure as well. So I think if I'm Complexity, try to pressure using the Nature's Prophet early on. Like, get a level of the stun. Once you've got maybe 2 levels of the Breathe Fire, look for the TP opportunities to get going early. Because once it hits level 5, it's going to be really difficult to try to invade that Shadow Fiend, because the Dazzle will just rotate in and sit behind the SF in anticipation of the ganks.
Yeah, no real surprise as Nahaz, our stats man. Shoutouts to him. Oh, wait, hold that thought, Nahaz. We're making a move in. The early disruption, but the return telekinesis back just to kind of keep him at bay. But you can already see the aggression coming out from NAR's dual lane here, trying to add some extra pressure onto that gyro so he can't succeed. With that, we look back. Do you think that for NAR, it's very crucial for them to really punish this top lane of Complexity so that gyro doesn't really have too easy of a time?
They have more offensive potential, and I think they have to get aggressive early, because I think that what they realized last game is that they didn't get enough out of the lanes. Like, the lanes went kind of even, but I think Complexity was incredibly happy about that. They're like, okay, we didn't lose the laning phase, and we have a push-style all-in type of comp. let's just kind of play for the mid game, and we're perfectly fine. Like, they must have been super happy about it. Everyone's like, don't panic, we're actually winning this game right now. And so I think for Na'Vi, what they're trying to do this game is just try to mess up the timings of Complexity, because Complexity has a very timing-oriented type of lineup. It's like, get level 6 on the Dragon Knight, try to push a tier 1 tower down, try to get 1 or 2 items on the Nature's Prophet, try to get aggressive.
Potential heal bomb with these illusions could be big damage, but nice immediate telekinesis going to bring back Chad in a way. Fly eats a lot of damage here, not quite enough to bring him down, but that rocket barrage starting to come out here onto Chad. Chad's in trouble, and Chad goes down. Ziz is going to be picking up the first blood. It's Complexity who will strike first. Now Fog, very weak and wounded. The Malphus is going to be there. He's trying to etch his way through that fog to hide out. He's going to make it to the side shop, and it looks like he will be able to make it away. Thank goodness for those early boots.
Yeah, if he didn't have those, that easily could have been a double kill off the bat, and still a little bit too aggressive, because even if you get the heal bomb off, I feel like they should be able to get the rebuttal kill on at least one of the supports. And I think, yeah, you get first blood, but at the same time, you open a little bit more space for the gyrocopter, which isn't a good thing. And then on top of that, you have to win that lane harder than you are right now. Like, going down a kill without being able to pull or anything like that, you're already going to get slowed down in terms of the levels. And so this has to go a lot better. Like, they have to get at least 2 kills now for this to be okay, or they have to rotate on the Dragon Knight a lot.
Ush off to an EXP advantage as he already reaches level 5. And you see NAR back in their position here at the top lane, hoping to consider that first blood a bit of a fluke. They'd love to get back onto the aggressive side of things, but I wouldn't mind for the bottom lane matchup, the one-on-one of Beastmaster and Furion. Now, Furion does have the CS advantage, or he actually did. Now MSS looking to take over. A battle of the summons, if you will. What do you feel about this lane right here? Not one we get to see very often.
The boar is so strong.
Yeah.
Being able to zone out is really easy with it. I mean, he's so tanky because he's got the Stout Shield. And it's hard for Moon Meander to kind of get into a 1v1 trade. It's that he just wants to be able to farm a little bit better here. Like, the Nature's Prophet is meant to... He doesn't have to do as well because his farming mechanisms are a lot easier, right? He can just TP around the map, go for the jungle, do the Ancients early on once he gets 3 levels of the Nature's Call. So he doesn't have to win this lane as hard. And I feel like that's always the theme of Complexity, right? The lanes don't have to go super well, just kind of hold on. Because Z-Freak right now is farming out the jungle. So the fact that they were able to get that first blood in just a dual lane essentially against an offensive tri-lane means that they're just going to get out-farmed.
Yeah, no surprise, because they weren't able to block out any of those jungle camps. Z-Freak is just doing his thing that we always see on your Dire Enigma. He's already pushing past level 5, before the 5-minute mark even. Once he gets that level 6, gets the black hole, are we expecting maybe a possible rotation to that top lane to kind of relieve some of the pressure that's been coming from the side of NAR?
I actually think you go and gank mid, if you can. I think top is too difficult, and it's really chancy because your gyrocopter doesn't have farmer levels. Whereas if you go for the mid gank, being able to slow down Ush whatsoever is really huge. I was talking with EGM yesterday when we were doing a cast, and it feels like Shadow Fiends either have the game of their lives or they're completely useless because they have to catch up and farm. And right now, Ush is getting off to a great start.
Yeah, he has that Invis rune bottled up. Already level 6, damn near level 7, 33 and 11 CS, the highest in the game. And he's right there neck and neck with MSS up there on the XP. So he's playing a bit more reserved. Fog has been off the radar for quite a while. He's lingering towards that mid lane, and Moon departing from his off lane, joining Z-Freak in the jungle, it looks like, at least for now. I don't know if they're looking to switch places or not, and Z-Freak will look to adventure out, utilizing his black hole. Very particular nonetheless, and MSS pretty confident. Obviously, he's got the watch out there from the Hawk, seeing if there's going to be any rotations back towards his lane. But next on the agenda is getting that 6-minute rune here, and it looks like they'll be able to secure the one on the bottom.
Yeah, and farm advantage definitely goes with it.
They got Ush pulled back right to the Dragon Tail. Dragon Form also going to be out right here. He's in trouble, and he goes down to the Breathe Fire, and they're going to get Chad as well. A nice 2 for special for Complexity. Like you said, the Enigma helps converge towards the mid lane, and they time it out perfectly. They wait for that 6-minute mark when they anticipate Ush is going to be going for that top rune, and they intercept.
Yeah, if you think about it, when you're going for a gank, you have to assume, okay, what are we going to lose going for this, or what are we going to gain, right? If they go for the Beastmaster kill, what do they really gain? It's a Beastmaster, right? It's an offlane Beastmaster. Stopping his farm timings aren't as big, but if you go for the Shadow Fiend,
first Primal Roar comes out early. It's going to be on Fly, followed up with the Axes, and it makes for an easy first kill for the side of NAR as they manage to get themselves onto the board. It looks like Complexity do a little bit of extra damage with the help of the Eidolons onto that tier 1, but they will be quickly farmed up and thwarted back right here. But Swindle's got a little bit of time left on that Dragon Form. Love to get a little bit more damage out of it, but it looks like it will be stopped here. So with that, still Complexity up and ahead. The top lane, here comes the rotation. Korok, he gets crowded, but quick to react on eating that tree. But oh, here comes the body blocks. The little trees, get the hell away. Now Korok on the run. He's going to head down the ramp right here. Will someone be there to intercept? Not quite yet. There is a nearby jungler. I believe that is Z-Freak, but he's not going to be there in time. So, yep. Hi, Z-Freak. How you doing? So with that, he's going to be able to make it back to his lane. Close, but no cigar. But Korok's still getting kind of zoned away.
Yeah, that was so fast from him as well, if you notice. And oh, they might actually still catch him out here.
Ooh, he's going to make it away. Nope, not going to be catching him with that extra slow from the call down. But look at this. They're going to cut him off. He is getting flanked from both sides. Chad is there. He's going to be able to dish out the grave. Korok is going to make it back into safety. Even help secure it with the LSA. Here comes Fog. Dishes out the Soul Catcher. But it's going to be nothing too significant there. But look at this Complexity already moving as a group, all 5 at this top lane.
Yeah, they didn't want to do this though. I think Swindle was just there because they wanted to secure the kill on Korok. But rotating that many heroes and not being able to get a tower, all it does is it creates a little bit more space for Ush, which is what he's shooting for right now. Is that when the Dragon Knight rotates to try to take another tower, then Ush can actually counter pressure the lane by being able to kill the creep so fast, and Korok might even be able to catch somebody out here.
He's thinking about it, but no, just a little bit of flirting around. So because of that, Ush was able to easily secure some extra farm in the mid lane, got that rune top. MSS gets the 1 bottom, so they continue to get a lot of the other 2 lanes while Complexity are getting caught up and having so much attention towards the top. So it's a good rotation pull from NAR, and Korok does live from that potential dangerous situation. Now MSS on the return does have Primal Roar up, leads in with the axes, only minor damage, of course, onto Moon for now. I'm very curious, for your Moon Meander Nature's Prophet, what kind of build are we going to be looking at for him? We know Furions have their deep closet of different things. We've seen over the times your Null Talisman Blade Mails, your Daggons, your Midases, your Necro Books.
Oh, at top.
Oh, here we go. Another call down, going to be called out. This one will connect on the Korok here. Can he make it away? The Flat Cannon doing big work, but once again, Chad is here to save the day. Dishes out the grave, and Korok is going to be very thankful for that. Gets the salve as well, and we'll be back into fighting shape. And Ziz, ooh, wants to see if he can get maybe an early deny of that salve, but nope. I'll have to pull on back.
I think going for something like an Orchid this game would be pretty huge. Being able to silence out the Dazzle and just keep him out of the fight for as long as you can, or being able to use it on a hero like the Beastmaster to try to nullify him. NAR don't really have many heroes that are going to go for the BKB, right? Like, you look at their lineup, who's the natural BKB carrier? It's the Shadow Fiend, right? But you're not going to get an early Hex or anything like that.
Will third time be the charm for Korok? It looks like it will be. This time, their successful fly, again, persistent. Like we saw in the last game, able to kind of move on in there. This time, successful in setting up a good telekinesis, just too far out of position. This time, no Chad to help out, and Korok will go down. Complexity now push their advantage even further ahead, now 4-1.
Yeah, but I think going for an Orchid into something like a Necro 3 and just go for the split push game / team fight would be pretty good. If they opt to go all in like they did last game, well, I don't want to say all in, but if they want to go for that heavy all in aggression where they just barrel through lane to lane, I think that going for the Necro first would be better, but they would lack for damage if that was the case.
Mid lane, some pressure on this tier 1 just thereafter as NAR secures their own tower there at the bottom, but Korok there is alone. They're going to make the committee go. They certainly will. He's eating a lot of big damage. Breathe fire, and again, Korok will go down. Now they're going to look to follow it up. They're going to catch out Chad with the Sprout, the pullback telekinesis. He's going to be forced to grave himself, but can he make it away here? Oh, cheeky Chad. He finds a nice little corner, but no, he can't run away from the breathe fire. He ends up going down. Complexity advance again. Now 6-1. And here we go. They unleash even more summons. They're going to be going for a tier 2. This is a lot of pressure coming out early from Complexity.
Yeah, and NAR even used the smoke for this to try to wrap around and go for an initiation, but it's just not going to be possible. They just lost a tier 1, a tier 2, their carry, and another hero on top of that for absolutely nothing now.
Oh, call down. Zoning call down. Get the hell back. And with that, nothing really going to be coming out of it here. I can't help but feel like it's more pressure on this gentleman right here, Ush, to kind of step it up for the side of NAR. Haven't seen him really do a whole lot quite yet. Looks like he's been able to finish out his mech, which certainly his team will be able to use in these kind of engagements, but it's going to be difficult here. What can we expect out from NAR to try to bring this game back? Because at this point, it almost feels like Complexity, as long as they come together as 4 or even 5, they can kind of do as they please.
The good news for NAR is that the heroes that they need to stay alive are staying alive. Like, the Shadow Fiend is continuing to snowball slowly. I don't think he's actually only died once, that one time right at that top rune, and I think the Beastmaster also hasn't died once this game. Yeah, he hasn't, and so you need those two heroes to get as big as possible, and the Necro book is already going to fly onto MSS, so if you can get Necro 3 at around 20 minutes, they can still fight back is the thing. Like, they have enough damage from what they've got off of just those two heroes, and then the Lina... What does she really need? Just the Yule Scepter, and she can still be effective in these fights.
And he's already got the Void Stone, so no real surprise to see Korok trying to inch his way towards it, but very uncharacteristic start for Korok, and what we see from him. 0, 3, and 0 right now on his Lina. He's going to have to take a little bit of that me time and try to stay out of the danger zone unless necessary. And then, you know, as you talked about MSS, he already buys up a smoke here, maybe hoping to kind of get everyone together, use that Primal War to set things up, but looks like you could say the same thing here for COL. Black Hole, ready to go. They're on the hunt now. This could be pretty dramatic. Their team fight, pretty dang impressive. Call down, Black Hole. Of course, Swindle Melons' Dragon Form can dish out the spread, but oh boy, here we go. We might see a head-on clash here.
This is the fight.
Here we go. Who's going to lead things off right now? Uh-oh, MSS. He's going to get caught out. Oh, very unfortunate. Pulled back dead immediately. Going nothing. Called out. Requiem trying to push him back, but there's an immediate mech to help him on out. Big stun does come out from NAR, but look at Moon. He's going to be able to cut him off at the front, and the Black Hole will help secure the decimation of Ush. Make it 3 with his takedown. His Death Requiem not going to be enough to finish anyone off. It's a 3-for-0 trade. Complexity continue to advance on 4, now 9-1. This is very stellar. I don't know, can't help but feel like, was game number 1 a bit too shaky for NAR? They seem to be out of it quite a bit, or is it just Complexity seem to be absolutely on their A game?
I think it's just COL being on their A game. That smoke, you would usually see a team like this go for a Roshan or something like that, and NAR were just trying to pick off 1 or 2 heroes and then go for that top tower, and I think Complexity knew it was up. They gather, show Strength of Force, they go as 5. They realize that right now, this is the strongest they're going to be over NAR, because NAR doesn't really have a lot of farm on the Lina, they don't really have the necessary levels, and they definitely don't have the heroes to team fight. Like, I think Korok is even going to go down if Moon's able to catch the TP on him.
Oh, meanwhile, top lane, there is a call down, barely connects. MSS is able to get the Primal Roar off now, and they will take down the Gyrocopter here. Swindle Melon's on the run, no more Dragon Form for him. And all the meanwhile, Korok, who was running up to the north, it seems like he did make his way back towards the bottom with a TP here. So it's a successful pick. They take down the prized Gyrocopter. It's one step, but they're going to need a lot more than that. And look, because of their recent victory, you got your Enigma able to finish off his medallion. Good grab for him. Helps out certainly if they want to consider making a go at the Rosh in the near future.
I think that's the plan. Last game, I think that was the plan as well. If you saw with the Undying build, he went for the medallion first. I think the game plan was, let's take a Roshan, give it to some hero like Dragon Knight, let him go high ground, right? Because you just want him to beat on the towers. I think that most of the time you would give it to your carry, but I think this is like one of the few exceptions. If you want to go high ground, I feel like you give it to Swindle so that it doesn't matter if he gets caught out of position. And it takes so long to kill him anyways, right?
Certainly does. He is a tanky knight. Fly, already level 8 on his Rubik. I mean, if you already compare the level difference on the support side of COL and the support side of NAR, it's pretty dang dramatic here. But NAR finally able to get those ultimates together here. We look to Moon, and as you said, the Orchid is going to be the call for him. Actually pretty damn close to it. Already double Oblivion Staff together for him. But it looks like as soon as Complexity get those ults together, they're just ready to fight, because they feel like they do have that power advantage, and they certainly want to utilize it while they can. Don't want to risk this Shadow Fiend really being a huge presence as the game does continue on forward.
Yeah, and this is a really disciplined Complexity. If you notice, they're not trying to force anything. They're going for smokes, they're going for timings, and they're just kind of playing their hand really well. When you usually see most push teams, what they usually go for is like, they kind of force it a little bit too much, and then they get picked off, and then they lose one fight, and then that's the strategy. Like, they just lost the game. But if you notice Complexity, they're going for the pick-offs first. They're trying to weaken the defenses of Na'Vi so that they can just kind of snowball in.
Oh, Fog going right into trouble. Another smoke movement from COL is going to be very successful here. They get one. MSS trying to run away. Is he going to be forced to use a roar defensively here? Now Chad was able to make it out. MSS could be as lucky, and it looks like he will. But uh-oh, here comes Moon. Gotcha! But, oh, nice quickie of the tree. MSS will be A-okay. Plus they have the axes, of course, so not going to be able to stop this guy.
Still, you're happy with that. It's 10-2 now in mid.
Oh, Ush. There's telekinesis pullback. Man, Fly again. Always there to set things up, but ooh, nice wand. Oh, didn't even have to use the wand pop right there. Just gets a little bit of extra life and was able to TP away to safety. So, all right, Complexity with that rotation to top, they get one support, but don't really get much after that. I think they were expecting to have a bit more, though they didn't have to expend a whole lot for that support.
Yeah, it took one smoke, a few heroes, but you force MSS out of that, and you create a little bit more space for Korok, but you're okay because Korok's so far behind in the game anyways, that you're just trying to keep heroes that are poor as poor as possible, and Fog just trying to make a move here, but I don't think he will be able to do anything off of this.
He's got the Purge, slows him down. Okay, he's getting off a lot of damage on his own here, but he certainly needs the backup. MSS is en route, but really Swindle is going to easily be able to make it away. Plus, he just received his Shadow Blade after all, so really no problem on that. And for bottom, Korok, there's going to be the debut of the Orchid. It's going to be on him, and there's the call down follow-up, and Korok goes down. 0 and 5 for him. Have yet to really see a Laguna Blade even come out for him. This is not looking too good.
Yeah, they're just being picked apart right now. Roshan is going to be the next target. That top tier 2, is it still alive? I'd imagine it is, but it's quite low. Yeah, it's got one hit left on it. The mid tier 2 is down already. I don't think the bottom one is touched yet, but I imagine that's the next target because the top one is so easy to take. And once you take out all the tier 2s, if you have a little bit of time, you can even go high ground once you pick up 1 or 2 more items.
With that, pretty much easy breezy, uncontested Roche. Would not be surprised. NAR already know this is happening. They have the Hawk there, and now it's Fried Chicken. As the Dragon Knight will be able to finish apart. Age is going to be going to the Gyrocopter.
Oh, if MSS dies here.
This is bad. Swindle, nice. Dragon Form, Dragon Tail, and he is done for. And now the board is going to be on the side for Fly. So it just continues to be pick after pick after pick. NAR just getting caught out of position, but you have to give credit to Complexity on having all these setups, whether they're being sneaky with the smokes and now with the Shadow Blade. They seem to get all the opportunities they could ask for when they decide to go for it.
Yeah, and then going for that pickoff was a really smart idea. If you notice that Swindle ran immediately away from the Roshan because he realizes, okay, we're going to take this without me, so I don't actually have to be here. What I should do is use the Shadow Blade, try to look for some pickoffs, and MSS just slightly out of position, and the Shadow Blade able to catch up to him. And now, I mean, if this is another pickoff, that would be so huge for them.
Looks like they're saving up that last hit. Not at first for the Gyro, but looks like it's going to be Nature's Prophet who will be able to pick it up. Almost narrowly getting caught out there, but will be saved for now. Ush is just looking to take advantage of what farm he can elsewhere before he's going to be forced to TP back. Looks like he's building up into a BKB. Not too far off of it, but is the BKB going to be enough at this point for the Shadow Fiend to really make a huge impact in these fights? Because it stands right now, Complexity just feel really far and ahead. They're still going to have that black hole to work with, though he will have to be wary of course, the Primal Roar, after all. But we need a bit of a pause here. Looks like we have one DC on the side of Complexity.
Yeah. I mean, do you agree with me here in that I feel like the BKB doesn't change too much? Yeah, Complexity don't have the best way to deal with it, but their heroes are so tanky, right? They've got the Dragon Knight, they've got an Aegis Gyrocopter, they've got a mech on top of that. It doesn't feel like that's going to be the game-changing item that they need. Obviously, it helps, and it's going to help Ush survive and get some damage off. But I really feel like he needs help from somewhere. Like, they need at least 1 or 2 more damage sources to be able to do anything.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, what do you think is going to be enough for NAR, at this point? But it seems to not just be one magical thing. They need 2, 3 things to be able to really contest this huge impact that Complexity have already been able to make. So it's not looking too good. And even Fly able to put together a Blink Dagger now on his Rubik. He already was making phenomenal setups without the extra mobility tool, but now things might be coming to him a bit easier. Plus puts him in a better position to get those quick and easy steals, whether it be that Primal Roar, even the Purge, Requiem, what have it. There was a play earlier in the qualifier where Fly dished out probably one of the biggest Requiem turnarounds ever. He stole Requiem and did 1,500 points of damage right back onto the Shadow Fiend. It was out of control. So,
yeah, I heard about that. Were you casting for that?
I was. It was ridiculous.
It seems like it's one of his comfort heroes because he's been one of the few players that have been playing it consistently throughout this entire qualifier.
Yeah.
Even though it has like an abysmal win rate, right?
Yeah, you know what? I'm not too sure. And in fact, we have Nahaz here to help us out with that one. But yeah, it's been a bit hit or miss. It's been very profitable for a team like Complexity, though. I mean, like as I said, they're already 4-1. And Fly has definitely been doing some serious work. And Kuro himself might have to look out for Fly, but we'll have to see. It's definitely been working out pretty well.
Oh, Moon's just going to TP to bottom because he sees the 3-man hero rotation. into this mid lane, and this is just because NAR can't really get caught out anymore. How many times have you seen them get individually picked off around the map, and that leads to a tower death?
Too many times.
Yeah, and once that happens, you kind of get the luxury of that the other team respects you so much. Like, every other team is like, okay, I can't really do anything if I move out here by myself. There's a Shadow Blade. Fly is 4-1. All other players are 3 and 12.
So Fly's doing something right, and everyone else needs to get on that, whatever it may be. So with that, though, NAR, I don't want to say this is a desperation smoke, but this is a crucial one if they want to try to get some momentum back their way. Looks like they're heading towards the south side, but there's no one there to really get a hold of. So we'll see if they try to maybe bait out something from Korok. But look at this, Complexity with another big smoke. The Complexity, infamous Complexity smoke wraparound.
No, that was the that was where they were going to lose the game for sure. So they went for that 1% maneuver, but they're so far ahead in this game.
They're using it, and they're making it actually something that works. They're looking to take that infamous Complexity smoke movement and make it something positive, not something negative. But, Fogged might be a little too far from the comfort of his team. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Right into trouble. There it is again. The telekinesis pullback, and your Shadow Demon is Shadow dead.
Yeah, and that's just good map movement by them. They could even opt to go for this mid tower, but I think that the safer play is to just continue to pick at Na'Vi, right? You don't have to force anything. If you lose a fight against a lineup like Lina plus Shadow Fiend as the cores, those heroes snowball really quickly. What you have to do, I feel, if your Complexity is play it for the long con, you know, kind of aim for this 40-minute map movement where you can kind of pick people off, and Korok has to be so careful here.
Oh, there's going to be the Yules. He will be able to make it out. Rocket, obviously not going to be there in time. Just a little bit of a distance there. But he'll be fine and safe. I still have not seen him be able to really utilize that Laguna in a successful pick movement right here. It just seems like Complexity, you know, the difference is they don't seem to be typically caught out on their own too much. So I thought I was going to possibly jinx him here, though. Do they have detection? Well, they have the Necro book, but he is pretty dang fast with that Shadow Blade, and looks like NAR going to be coming up short.
Yeah, once again, you know, they try to make something happen around the map, but Complexity, it feels like they're just one step ahead of him. Every single time NAR go for a smoke gank, Complexity knows what's going on. They try to look for a counter gank where they can get the initiation off, and right now it just feels like they're getting outplayed a little bit, but Korok's doing a really good job. He's catching up in farm right now after that kind of poor laning phase that he had with how that aggressive trialing went, and I think this is the right idea. Like, try to split up the map, farm it out, and create a tempo where you have to respond, where you have to force Complexity to respond to you. The problem right now is that Complexity still has an objective to take in that bottom tower that they just took. Like, that tier 2 going down between just the Gyrocopter and the Enigma is so huge.
As you see there, the Silver Edge going to be the choice. Sometimes for DKs, they'll get the Shadow Blade, then they step off, go for something like the BKB, and then look to maybe a Silver Edge as more of a luxury. But what about the viability of the Silver Edge at this point in the game now? You can, of course, use the extra bit of damage. You get the break on, what, the Inner Beast. You get it on the Fiery Soul, the Presence of the Dark Lord. Is that enough, though, to justify having to go for a Silver Edge right here and now?
No, I think the BKB is still more worth it.
Yeah.
Well, it depends. How close is the Lina to the Aghanim Scepter? I guess if she's really close, okay, she's only 900 gold away, then the BKB means a little bit less because there is still the Roar and that available, but I don't know if that was the item. I think going for something with attack speed like the Assault Cuirass would potentially be better to just start to build towards that rather than going for the Silver Edge, because it's not like you're playing against something like a Bristleback where you absolutely needed to kill somebody.
Ooh, the Rada Owie here on the Enigma. We don't get to see that one too often, but a little bit of extra slow from a long range away certainly doesn't hurt. And of course he gets the extra bit of tank to himself. It's a lot of fun.
It's like a Han thing, because I see Minuts do it all the time, and so did Slicks. Like, it feels like it's just something that they kind of understand and they like as an item. And if you think about it too, it really helps the Enigma with utility. Like, slows help so much when you know that the other team's not going to go for BKBs. That's what I said earlier, right? At the beginning, I was like, okay, they have how many BKB carriers that are natural? They've got the Shadow Fiend that's obviously going to get one. But then aside from that, the Lina's item progression is pretty standard. She's going to go for Yule's Scepter into the Aghanims, then maybe something like a Blink Dagger. But how often do you see a second BKB on her or the Beastmaster?
Not very often. So they could look to punish that. Oh man, Moon able to throw together his Necro 3 pretty damn fast here. So we could see that extra split push potential come out from him. Complexity so far have looked to be very good at being able to take advantage of when they see a good, like, committed move from NAR to one side of the map and they quickly jump to the other to try to get some extra objectives. So Moon could continue to do that and take advantage of that window of opportunity. But here's Swindle on the high ground here. Ooh, just going to be coming up short to catch up Korok. Korok with that new freaking move speed is going to be able to slide on away and back to home.
If Swindle was like half a second earlier and committed hard for that, I feel like he would have gotten that kill. But it doesn't matter too much whether he gets it or not, because the Luna's got her Aghanim Scepter, and I don't think that's going to determine whether they go for the push or not. And I think that's the crucial thing here, is that kills now don't really mean too much for COL aside from map control. What matters more is that you go for objectives. So I think the next one is get the Roshan, slow down the pace of the game a little bit more, and then just go for whatever tower pushes you can using the setup of the Dragon Knight.
Looks like their first Aegis is going to expire, and the new Roche is already back up and ready to go. Moon has his little scouter right there, and the report is Roche is back, so let's get over there and get her done. NAR, though, can they even bother looking to contest this kind of a thing?
I think you sort of have to. Like, this is the best possible fight that you're going to get, and Swindle might actually get caught out here.
They have the book to the Primal War as he moves in. It doesn't matter if he's under the cover of his Shadow Blade movement. It's not going to matter a whole lot. He gets taken down, and with that, maybe NAR sneak into the pit. Doesn't seem like it quite yet. Oh, looks like they are going to make the commit to go. He has the Hawk now to scout out the area. They'll see that Moon is obviously nearby, but without their Dragon Knight, it is going to be a bit difficult for them to kind of set something up here.
Big black hole time?
I don't know. Do they have a Blink Dagger? They don't. They want that Atos, so it might be a bit trickier for them to get in there. Uh-oh. There's the buyback from DK, which means they do want to contest. COL are going to be coming in on the exit point of the Roche pit. Can they stop them from making their way out? MSS, no Primal War, obviously, so he's going to be shot on down. The Ush from behind unleashes his Requiem, but there's going to be no focal point quite yet. Moon, Chad getting caught out the high ground. Moon, Meander, Furion bringing down the right click from above. They're going to take out 1, 2, and possibly 3 here with the return of Ush. They catch out Korok on the side. He's trying to TP away to safety. He will not make it out. The Nature's Prophet Ulfred going to stop him on out. Ush will be going down as well. It's a 4-man drop, and uh-oh, it could be 5 here if Fogged is caught out. Moon trying to get the Sprout. Oh, he's looking to cut him off. Hi, how you doing right there? Drops down the Sprout, and it looks like it is going to be a 5-man wipe. A triple kill for Moon Meander. Very impressive defense of the Roche coming out from Complexity.
They were going to fight that every single time, because the type of positioning that NAR were in, you're okay with fighting the Roshan fight, even if the other team has the Aegis, because of the positioning advantage that you have. You're grouping into a team that has to funnel slowly out of that tunnel, right? So you're going to take that fight every single time, and Moon played that so well. He goes for the TP onto the high ground, doesn't give the Shadow Fiend any sort of opportunity to get damage off on him, and then he just starts picking them off on the high ground. Like, the SF can't fight into it, the Dazzle goes down as well, and man, Moon just played that fight so perfectly.
Oh man, Complexity tasting that sweet trip to Seattle to compete at TI5. It just seems so close now. They're able to take down that tier 3, and they get 1 Rax already. That seemed to segue just so beautifully for them. They put up the good Roche fight, and they still have enough oomph to kind of take it down the mid lane with the back end of that Dragon form, plus all those summons to do some serious work. So look at that. Whew. That is a serious drop on the graph from both sides, both net worth and gold, about that 12K mark. Is there coming back now for NAR at this point, or are you already thinking this is seeming a bit too grim and we might need to kind of think about what could be ahead of us in the lower bracket? I don't want to make it too grim sounding for them, but it just seems like it's going to be very difficult for NAR to find their way back into this groove.
All right, I don't want to be the type of person that lies for hype, so I'm going to say the likelihood of Na'Vi being able to win this game is low. It's not impossible, but they would have to have a lot of things swing for them, like in their favor. Like, they'd have to be able to burst down the Enigma and the Dragon Knight before they get anything off. And Ush would have to get the perfect Requiem. Okay, he's just going to get it done.
Yeah, well, the perfect Requiem might have to be saved for another day and another game, because Ush is hard to watch at that point. Complexity easily move in. How many smoke movements have we seen where they're able to still end up profiting here? And speaking of profit, Moonman himself tries to get a catch out onto MSS, but it's not going to be there. Chad, he's trying to hide in the dark. Oh god, I gotta use his TP or something to make it away. Fly makes a jump up, but he's not going to be there. And uh-oh, there is no TP. There is no way back home. Uh-oh, Chad gonna get caught out, gonna get pulled back and assaulted. He goes down. Ziz now dominating on his gyrocopter. It's 3-20. The dream is almost real here for Complexity. My god, who is this Complexity team? They look so damn good. Would not have expected this when I was doing my compendium predictions, I tell you what.
Have you been watching my facial expressions this entire game? I'm like blown away. I just have no idea what's going on. It feels like Cole's map movement is so precise. Like even Hani's like, what the? I was like, I didn't expect this, and I didn't either. Like he thought that Na'Vi was gonna win. I thought after the other day where Mal's looked a little bit weak that Na'Vi was gonna win. I mean, Twitch chat was right for us. Like they called
right.
it.
Not as convincing, but they definitely felt the favorite was going to be for complexity here, and they certainly seem to be right. Now moving in from the northern side of the NAR, they're able to easily take down the Tier 3. A weave does go out at the same moment. Primal Roar in exchange for the call down. Laguna flips onto Zit, but he's going to get with the shallow grave that had been stolen from Fly. Very nice. Croc gets his own grave. Osh dishes out a pretty good Requiem, but it's right into a black hole. Now the hole will be stopped, and he continues to fight forward. The gyrocopter will go down. Osh, though, got to be dropped. He's out for over a minute. No buyback, and MSS with nothing left to use will go down, and it's looking pretty damn solid for complexity as they will be able to advance through this upper bracket. Oh boy, what do we do now? 5-22. Korok does move in, gets the Yules, the LSA, and looks like they'll be able to get a nice pick, and every little bit certainly gives them a good gold swing and an XP boost, but if you look at their base, you just know the damage. It has been done, Blitz.
Yeah, I think they still have their range rack, so it's not the worst thing in the world, but that's not the one that you want to... that you're like, oh, sweet, we saved our range racks. And the bottom tier 3 tower as well, it's pretty open for them to take. And Mega Creeps, there's no way that NAR returns from that. Like, there's just no lying about that. Because think about the lineup they have. They don't have enough farm on the SF. He doesn't have something like a Butterfly and a Satanic to be able to do anything like clear Mega Creeps. The Lina as well, I don't think she has enough farm. I mean, they just don't have enough farm to deal with this right now.
So as we saw, Fly steals Laguna and has an Ags as well. So
he's Lina number 2, and Fly's played this game so well. I have terrible vision, so I can't actually check his score through the screen. Okay, he's 4-1-10 so far, and his positioning this game has been really good. He's able to steal really relevant spells this game, and to be able to steal the Laguna Blade with an Aghanim Scepter on your own, I don't even know how he got an Ags. I guess it's just the gold advantage that they have from taking all the objectives, but still, he's been playing really well this game.
Again, I feel like I'm almost a broken record whenever I've been, had the opportunity to... The hell was that? Was that a taunt?
Yeah, he just does that sometimes.
Okay. Never seen that before.
It's a happiness thing.
Yay! Yeah, we're going to Seattle!
One team is that, obviously, and I feel really bad for NAR if they lose this game, but you gotta be happy for Cole. Like, they weren't projected to do nearly this well.
Uh-oh. Primal Roar. They might be able to get the catch on Swindle, who's trying to be sneaky, but they had that Sentry Ward and obviously the extra bit of vision. He does go down. So it's another pick in the direction of NAR, but step 1 of a 10-step program to get back in this game, as I like to say. 7-22 now. But as I was going to say before I was distracted from that crazy little taunt right there, for Fly in particular, when we cast his games, he's always the one there to set everything up. That's why he's got so many assists. He gets to participate so much. He gets this gold. He gets this farm. And I'm also curious. I don't know if anyone of you know, is he the shot caller for this team? The one that makes the plays and says where we need to go, when and where?
That would be something that you probably ask Connie after this, but he is. He's not? Okay, Swindle. Yeah, I think I heard that as well, because I actually ranked for them in 2 games, and one time I played support and I forgot to buy a courier, and Minot said American subs, and he was making fun of me, but yeah, he seemed to be the person that had like the overall game plan. He was telling everybody what to do. It seemed like he had a firm grasp on the leadership role. The only thing I thought was, when I walked away from when I scrimmed with him even 3 or 4 times, was he's a little bit inexperienced. Like, his calls are good, but it doesn't seem like he knows the game well enough quite yet. But it feels like he's kind of closed that knowledge gap now, and this game clearly isn't over yet. I mean, Na'Vi can still hold.
Yeah.
They need 1 or 2 more fights like that. If they don't lose the racks, they could come back into the game. But from here on out, they have to play perfectly. Like, no more mess-ups. Nobody else can get picked off before a push. Like, this has to be as clean as possible.
Korok forced forward, blink in, then quickly realizes I might have made a mistake here. Ziz is there. The Rocket's going to be out. But it looks like they also will pull back. Complexity, they already have a firm grasp on a solid lead. They don't want to get a bit overzealous and put themselves in a bit of a bad situation when they don't have all 5 nearby and ready to go. So good heads-up play from them. And yeah, just to reflect back a bit when we're talking about, Swindle might have been inexperienced. He's used to kind of working around his Han buddies and has this team. But now you got people like Fly in your squad, who's a very experienced player. Maybe they're learning a lot from each other, and they seem to have found a groove that is working for them. And I'm definitely getting anxious to see how they could match up potentially against some of the other teams across the other regions here. So with that, we continue to truck on. We're still looking for hope here for NAR to find their way back into this game. There hasn't been any sort of relative action on the side of Complexity yet, which is always good for NAR, but what do they really need to kind of step it up? MSS obviously already has his book complete, but now you're looking at a DK who's able to throw together his BKB. Won't matter too much when you got Korok, of course, with your Ags, but what are they going to need to do? Is it all more on their high ground defense? Maybe a bit of a misplay coming up from Complexity, and they're able to punish on it?
What they have to do is they have to bait Complexity to get as far into their base as possible, and then just fight around the towers and fight around the superior map positioning. You have to probably expend at least one buyback on a core hero. The problem right now, though, is after the Beastmaster uses the Roar, after he pops his Necrobooks, him buying back doesn't add enough to the team fight for it to matter too much. And then the Lina would probably be the next person up. But the Shadow Fiend as well, if you look at his item build, I think he's got like an S and Y. Like, he just doesn't have enough snowball potential right now. Like, mech doesn't mean so much in these fights anymore. Even the BKB, like, the amount of magic damage that Complexity have is enough for him to get that BKB. But at the same time, it's not a game-breaking item like you normally see.
Roche conveniently spawns up right when Complexity want it to, and they're going to be able to go in and really put it to work.
Those trees.
Oh, they're not really going for it here. They dish out the early weave, and Complexity not really happy about this. They decide to kind of move elsewhere here.
I think they're just going to wait out the weave. They've got a DD on the Dragon Knight. Like, this is an ideal fight for them. NAR realized that if they give up this Aegis, they're just going to get high grounded with the next push, right? So you have to try to take this fight. If they lose this fight, the game could be over. But if they win it, then it resets.
It does. The Hawk was taken down here, and they're looking to smoke in from the south. Poison flies out. Oh, Swindle is there. This is NAR's time. They're looking to jump in. Primal Roar is onto the one here. Fly jumps in, trying to go for the quick snag. He's going to get the Primal Roar. He uses it right back onto Ush, but the call down already there. But Korok was able to quickly pick off the Swindle DK. Now Ush on the retreat. NAR, no, they can't run from the black hole. Golden Glory out on the field as they're able to wipe out 4 all day. Korok is going to be forced to buy back. Fogged, weak and wounded, has to retreat back to base. It's another successful fight for Complexity. They hold strong, and they're already on the move. The top lane loses its second Rax. Moon Meander is there to help out. Korok going to get sprouted up. Orchid is online. Defensive disruption, and my God, Fog goes down damn fast. Moon Meander hitting like a truck at this point as he has that Desolator ready to go. Plus the Vlads, which you got to remember is a new bonus for those ranged cores. And oh no, this is not good. That was the fight that NAR needed, and they didn't get it.
I wasn't paying attention right now to the Roche timer because of the Moon Meander thing, but did they even get it, or did they just completely skip ahead and say, no, this game's over, we're just going to end it right now?
I believe it was that.
Yeah, they just gave,
They make the right call, and there you have it, folks. It's going to be Complexity who best NAR 2-0 in this upper bracket winner final of the TI5 America Qualifiers. And congratulations to them. They have guaranteed a trip to Seattle and to TI5. Whether it be in the wild card or whether it be a direct in fight, we'll find out in the tomorrow.